Evening, guys.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I think we need to come up with a better way of introducing ourselves.
They're always a bit awkward at the top of the show.
We do a pregnant pause, don't we? But
is it time for a jingle? Do we need to get ourselves a jingle?
I think we should.
It seems like most podcasts seem to have a jingle.
Yeah, maybe we need to work on that.
Are we that cool? Are we cool enough for a jingle?
I don't know.
Actually, yes.
Anyway, what are we doing today?
Well, it's for us, it's Taycan Tuesday. You may or may not know, listening, that we actually...
Isn't it a Taycan? Sorry to interrupt you.
Could be. We record these on Tuesday, don't we? And then it gives us, i.e. Andy, as the DJ extraordinaire, a couple of days to put it together, ready for you at home to be able to listen to Road to Redline on a Sunday.
Yeah, is that a good day?
I think so.
Sorry to interject there.
I think it's a good day.
Yeah. Okay,
it's a good day as any.
Yeah.
So it is. It's Taycan Tuesday because in the last week we have all been behind the wheel of the Porsche Taycan.
Indeed.
So I think it's an interesting proposition because you guys have air-cooled cars. Mm-hmm. If you include my 996, they're all 20th century cars.
Yeah.
Discounting the Cayman. But the Taycan is a very kind of different proposition altogether, isn't it? Futuristic car, electric power, etc.
Turboed as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So not managed to find the turbo yet, but literally it is turboed.
Magnus had a big issue with that last week, didn't he?
He did, yeah,
Huge
very much
issue.
so. Which I think is fair to say. Like we all have kind of different opinions from the offset. I think we'll run down how we'll do the show today, so shall we? So we'll have a bit of chat here in terms of our initial impressions of the Taycan or our expectations. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
Yep.
Then we'll jump into some of our onboard stuff that we did where we were all at the wheel.
Okay.
And then I think it'd be a good idea to debrief afterwards.
Yes, because we haven't talked since, have we? Since we've been in the car. So
and a dicky bird has told me your opinion has changed, Andy.
Mine's not changed. I think yours has.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear that.
Yeah. So what was your thoughts before you took out a Taycan? What were you thinking?
What's the expectation? So what do you think you will dislike about the Taycan?
I have to say, I think overall, in terms of electric cars, I'm still very sceptical. I think the big issue for me is everybody's going, right, there's an emissions problem, there's resources problem for petrol. It's got a finite life to it, but who's kind of decided e-power is the answer and why?
See, I think it is the answer because it can be powered by so many different things. So you've got solar, you've got water, wind. Everything can power an electric car because electricity can come from so many different things. That's my thought.
And my counter argument to that is there's an environmental impact on putting that infrastructure in place to begin with.
Yeah.
And also that infrastructure isn't there at the moment, and yet manufacturers are selling an end product. And that's that.
So you
to
were
me,
talking about the charge points.
Yeah. So I think the idea of a kind of a Porsche electric car doesn't kind of worry or concern or scare me, but it's kind of everything else. So whether you drive a Porsche or a Tesla or a Nissan, a Nissan Leaf, you need the infrastructure to use it. That's my early observation on it anyway. Okay. So what about you guys? What about you, Andy?
I'm up for it for daily use.
Yeah.
For getting to work, for that sort of thing, I think it's great. I'd be there tomorrow. If my trusty old Audi A2, if that blew up tomorrow, then I'd be looking around for something electric to get me to work.
Yeah.
But it's not my fun car. It's not my road trip car. It's not my
doesn't tick any
my
of those
parents'
boxes,
car. Doesn't do that. I'd have to have something else. But it's definitely my car to get me around locally.
Yeah. Okay. Joe?
Just not for me at the moment. I mean, I've a little while ago touched on some stuff with some Teslas, which was it was interesting. And again, they all have their party trick. I think wherever you are on the spectrum of electric cars, they've all got that. One way or another, to a degree, they've got that sort of rapid acceleration, put you in your seat to some degree, which I'm sure the Taycan is going to deliver on that in bucket loads as well. But other than that, I don't feel like they give anything else. There's a bit of soul missing. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, look, I think that sets the scene pretty well. So we've got two skeptics, one who's very for.
Yeah, generally,
Generally. So we'll dive in.
Which I wasn't, but I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll dive in then, shall we? Let's get behind the wheel of the Taycan.
Oh, I've got a hot bum. What's going on? Seats on. Jesus. I thought I'd wet myself.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm still getting a hot arse. It's come back on again. Why does it keep coming on?
Excellent.
Right, we're recording.
We are recording.
Yeah.
Excellent. So this is
fucking really warm. I don't like it. I don't like heated seats.
as well as being really warm. It's also a bonus instalment. I think we should look at it as for Road to Redline.
Absolutely.
Because it's not Road to Redline, it's Road to Regen. Because
Very good, Lee.
the car we're in doesn't have a...
There is no red line.
There is no red line. We're battery operated.
Yeah, well, that's weird, isn't it? Not having a tacho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't really considered that.
So we're in the Porsche
How are you going to pronounce it?
Taycan?
Taycan or Taycan?
Don't know. How do you say it?
I'm going to Taycan.
I'm Taycan.
Taycan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
Taycan.
Are you taken by
I
the
am Taycan.
You
Yeah.
are?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty taken by electric cars for daily use.
So, yeah, you're very pro.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
slightly
pretty negative.
Sceptical.
No, I'd
of
say
the
negative.
Really? Yeah. Joe, where do you sit then?
Yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm not sort of desperate to go and rush out and buy one. But at the same time, I think, I appreciate the party trick. I think, yet to fill in the gaps.
Yeah. You're very pro in terms of a daily driven car.
Yeah.
Obviously not for high
Yeah,
days and
because I'm a bit of a
holidays.
skinflint. It kind of appeals from that way, but I think just generally maintenance free, cost effective, gets you around quick. Yeah, does it for me.
Does the job.
And the environmental thing, kind of, even though I drive a 993 that spills out gas everywhere, as a daily, I'd much rather tool around in an electric than my diesel.
You're doing your bit then, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think, isn't there a model in Australia where cars with certain vintage, I think they're allowed, it's 80 or 100 days a year allowed on the road, which
Okay.
actually still
Yeah.
pretty lenient, because
Yeah.
it's one
Kind
in
of works.
3, isn't it? Or 1 in 4 pretty
Yeah.
much. So if we kind of gradually towards that side of things, then yes, you've still got plenty of time to use 993, 912, and you've got something that's, do we say, more responsible for the week.
Yeah.
Is it a long range tourer though, or is it just a weekday, get to work and back?
Yeah,
tour?
mine would probably be just a weekday get to work and back. My little commute's only sort of probably less than 10 miles each way. So,
Yeah. So
I
you wouldn't need a
wouldn't
Taycan
need
Turbo for
no.
it.
No. Well, if they were giving one away, I'd take it,
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. So you like the spec on this, Andy?
Yeah, well impressed when you pulled up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's volcano grey exterior for paintwork,
Which
and
is always my favourite colour, to be honest.
really, yeah,
'Cause,
Interesting.
Yeah, I really like it because it's nice and easy to keep clean.
yeah,
Practicalities.
yeah.
I
I
think
think
it
practical.
always looks good as well.
it looks good, but it's understated at the same time. It's not like
Yeah.
in your face, which
Yeah.
is kind of quite nice, almost classic Porsche in that
Absolutely.
sense, isn't
and
it?
the
you know?
wheels that it's got fitted.
Wheels are awesome.
I've not
Do
seen
like
these
those.
before.
Very cool.
I think you were saying looks a bit turbo fanny.
Yeah, 935 vibes. But obviously
Yeah.
they were plastic. These are not.
Yeah.
And they feel solid. They feel heavy, which is probably a theme for the whole car. 2.3
Definitely.
tons all in.
Wow.
You definitely feel it.
Yeah.
We were just checking out those monster brakes, weren't we? What were they, 10 pot
10
front?
pots up
pots.
front, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, I think 415 mil diameter.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
massive.
funny, isn't it? I wonder how much they actually get used, because you think electric car is about regen. So why do you? Well, I guess you need it for the emergency side of things.
If you're going really fast,
braking.
you've still got 2 ton to stop. And
Yeah, you're not going
Yeah.
to stop that with a bit of regen.
It's,
are you?
it's also
Something
efficiency
jumps
as well.
out.
So it's not just the once or twice, it's the ability to kind of keep using, isn't
guess
it? I
so, yeah.
suppose. And that's
Yeah.
kind of a hallmark of Porsche, has always been not just like efficiency of it or character of engine, but also efficiency in braking as well.
Yeah,
That's kind of a big thing, isn't it? So I have been reliably kind of told by Robin PR, obviously from Series 1, in terms of like how the brakes are used. Whereas the Tesla, which Joe has previous experience with, is almost a one pedal car. So when you
Yes.
come off the gas, the regen of the brakes, it's kind of stopping
Yeah,
the car.
yeah.
With that button there to the left of the steering wheel,
Can you adjust?
You can toggle it on or off.
Okay.
So you can have it if you want. If you do put it into Sport or Sport Plus, the regen's on automatically. But if you're in normal or range mode, they're very similar. I think the only difference is the output of the aircon, really.
Okay.
You can toggle that on or off, so it becomes that kind of two-pedal car.
Okay. I quite like the sound of, I've not driven one yet, electric car with paddles. So that it's obviously not changing gear, but that's changing the regen amount.
Okay.
So you can one foot it, and like you're coming into a corner, you can use it almost to brake down, to almost like engine braking.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm with you. Yeah.
So yeah, quite like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Surprised they haven't done it on this, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So there's this one gear on the front, it is two on the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the first gear on the back axle is only used for Sport and Sport Plus for a quick, speedy getaway.
Okay.
It's that instant torque. But in normal or range mode, because there's 5 modes in the Taycan.
There we go.
If you include wet mode. But yeah, normally it'll take off in second gear anyway.
Okay, so only for ballistic.
Yeah.
Lower.
But I mean, if you're looking like head on, obviously forget the dials or the digital screens behind. The wheel is very kind of 911, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, it's fresh out of 911, isn't it?
Yeah. The digital screen obviously is the 992 is inspired by this, isn't it? But actually, where this wins is from a driver's perspective. My criticism of the 992 was the screens were cut off on the extremities, whereas here, actually, it's quite neat. These kind of flaps either side almost fold out beyond the circumference of the wheel. So, you're like... well, actually, these are buttons, which I haven't said. Yeah, okay. So like PSM, sorry, on, off, or sport.
And do those buttons change, or are they always the same buttons?
They're always the same.
Okay.
So I believe so far they've not changed, but I like them. Like visually, you can see them beyond the circumference of the wheel. It's kind of something that the 992 needs to address, really. So there's a bit of extra thought, I think, gone into it. The interior is a vegan interior.
Yeah.
So we're saving.
I want to know what vegan Alcantara is.
Yeah,
Alcantara is not suede. It's a man-made product, Alcantara.
Well, there you go then.
Totally man-made.
Is it?
It's the cheapest material you can buy for trimming a car.
Is it really? Yeah. It's from Spain, is it not? Hales from?
I can't remember which company it is. I think it's DuPont or something like that.
I don't know.
But it's actually like the cheapest material you can get, but they've sold it to us as a posh stuff.
It's really, it's like, premium product.
There you go.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So less CO2, no harmed animals in the making of your seat, etc.
Comfortable seats, apart from I keep getting hot bum. It's stayed off now. It kept... was it you?
I was going to put Jay's heated seat on earlier, but he saw it straight away. I was gutted. It's always the classic, isn't it?
That's normally my trick. I quite know.
I thought I'd wet myself a little, mate.
You might have done that too.
Yeah. Everything's nice in it. I like it. Very... as it should be, really.
Well, yeah, Joe and I were saying on the way to pick you up, so it's like haptic experience is generally quite nice, very Porsche, but the dash is possibly a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying.
I'm not sure what it's missing, but I don't know whether it's because all the vents are kind of, you just lose them all, don't you?
Is it the grey leather in this one, maybe? It's just a bit flat.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's a bit featureless, I'd say.
Yeah. There's not much going on, is there?
Yeah, I mean, like the quality of stitching, like looking at this bit, I was come down the A34 earlier on.
Yeah.
Not amazing, not bowled away by it.
I look at the screen's got bloody fingerprints all over it, isn't it? That's
you'd have a tough
That's the same with any car at the moment.
Yeah.
You'll be wiping that all the time.
And dust, you need a microfiber in the car, don't you, to constantly clean.
It. I'm killing for a button, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely scrapping button for a button, but there's just not any. So,
was it fully charged when you got it? So what we got now? 132 miles.
Yeah, so it was 97%. I think 240 miles range. As we can see, I've done 104 miles so far, and we're down to 53% already. So,
have you worked out where you're going to charge it tonight?
A Waitrose.
Oh yes,
Waitrose,
yes,
just up the road from
Waitrose. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yes. I'll be in there for sort of a little while. I am going to. It does come with a 3-pin as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think to charge this car to 100% on the 3-pin is 35 hours. So
take it back next week then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I've got the car for 48 hours. So you'd leave 13 hours if you charge it on the 3-pin. But no, obviously that's not the point. And I think the idea of this is the owner will have obviously the home installation, and you charge it overnight like you do your phone.
And plug it in as soon as you get home.
It's a top up. The Ionity chargers, I think there's only like 8 or 5 or 8 in the UK or something. So that is kind of
in progress then.
Yeah.
What's that? The real quick charge.
The real quick stuff. But pre-lockdown there was 0. So I think it's fairly impressive that they're still putting them in despite the world having a wobble.
They'll get them out there pretty quick, won't they? I mean that's they need them. So
same whether it's a Taycan or a Tesla or anything, is the product as a car. Your car as a product is one thing, but actually the infrastructure is so crucial.
It's the missing piece, isn't it?
It really is, and it's great to be able to say, well, let's stop and have a coffee and recharge the car. But some people just splash and dash, didn't they? And I think until we're at that kind of level of cars being able to have some sort of recharge within the time frame of someone filling up a 65 or 95 litre vehicle, there is going to have to be compromise, isn't it, in our lifestyle?
There comes Lee's negativity on electric cars there.
I'm sceptical.
Sorry.
Well, look, on that topic, shall we go for a drive and see?
Yeah, let's do it.
I reckon.
See
what it's all about.
Yeah. Right then. Take us for a drive, man. Ooh. Oh no, that's the gravel. That's what the noise was.
The slow crunching of a back.
It did have quite a noise as you came to pick me up. It was kind of...
Okay, I think we had noise on, because you can turn the noise on and off.
What, outside?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it sounded quite sort of not milk floaty, in a good way.
This is it. It doesn't... I can go right, can't I? Yeah. It doesn't sound flat 6. It doesn't sound like Cayenne V8 or anything. It is just kind of like...
its own thing.
iRobot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is proper spaceship. The old tug on the seatbelt always gets me.
Yeah. Left?
Andy?
Yeah, go left, I would. We'll go back down.
If we come back this way, there's coffee to go there. But...
Oh, great shower. I can really do coffee.
Oof. Oh! That was just a little squeeze, wasn't it?
That's normal mode. I'm pretty sure this is adjusted the seat. This was not.
And when I'm leant forward, I can't keep leaning forward.
Yeah, so you can't
if you put your pedal down, it's proper. Throw your back.
Normal, and then with the regen, you can feel the car tugging back a bit, and then turn it off, and you can.
Oh yeah, you can feel it.
Feel it relax.
Yeah.
You know? Charlton Marshall.
So does this have like a sport plus type mode as well?
Yes.
Just a digger.
Normal, range.
Yeah.
Wet, sport plus.
Got you.
So it's got the same sort of thing as probably a 992, where it's got the microphones in there.
I was got the same dial on the wheel.
Same mode wheel, that kind of feels cheap.
That's the sport sound, isn't it?
Yes, you can hear that then.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah.
Big time in the back. It sounds like a grumbling wheel bearing, to be honest.
Hopefully not.
That's so good.
Maybe it sounds better once you pop in your toe down, but at the moment it does sound like a shagged wheel bearing.
Well, I'll just keep it in Sport Plus. I wonder if we would put maybe that back down.
Yeah.
Oh, whether you would hear anything outside?
Yeah, upload. Anything or nothing?
You can hear it outside, actually, yeah.
You can?
Yeah, I think so. I wonder where the speakers are outside.
Some
There's got to be,
megaphone
isn't there?
roof or something. Yeah.
It sounds like it's in the back. So the noise sounds like it's, when like a sub.
Yeah.
It's that sort of noise, low frequency.
Yeah, okay. Because one time I was dropping a press car back at Porsche Reading a couple of months ago, and a Taycan pulled into the premises. The guy jumped out, and I did say to him, "This is going to sound really weird, but that sounded nice."
Yeah.
But that's not the sound that I'm hearing today.
Okay. It sounds different.
Maybe it's adjustable. Maybe there is different sounds.
Possible,
yeah.
I'll have a play in a minute and see if there are any.
Maybe to 40.
I'll keep hold of the recorder.
Oh yeah, nearly lost it.
So, and they're like these screens that you've got here, there's like a load of adjustability. So what I've got up there now, that's a dynamic chassis control, which is like the active anti-roll bars.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. I've not seen that display before.
That's quite cool.
You can get other menus. Obviously the G-Force, your active all-wheel drive again, that's same as the 992. That is hilarious in fairness. It's like an elastic band if you see how that changes. You know? What did you have for lunch? Is you going to see it again?
Yeah, I think I will.
So that's pretty cool. But then, saying to Joe earlier, there's a lot of assistance systems on here with part of the Porsche InnoDrive, which is a pointless option. Well, it's not pointless for this, in fairness. But if you go to kind of change lanes without indicating, which I'm afraid I'm quite guilty of doing, the steering almost like fights you. It's kind of
We've got XC40. Sarah's got one, and that. The lane control thing drives me nuts in that.
Yeah.
It's forever piping up and giving you shit.
Yeah.
I'll go right here.
Right, okay, cool. I will maybe brace, just we'll see what the corner is like.
It bumped around like a go-kart then.
Yeah, that just didn't want to know, did it there?
It was,
the old traction was coming in there, wasn't it?
I thought it would have gone around there slightly better than that.
Yeah.
It's quite bumpy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So trying to get the traction down, it was probably having a little... Don't be stupid.
Yeah, what are you doing? Night view assist. Does that work in daytime?
I'd suggest going right here as well.
Okay.
Then we go down through all the nice tree-lined bit of road.
Okay, yeah.
Between here and Wimborne.
It's banging down the PDK here. So what we've discovered is a Taycan does not get under a truck.
No.
Whoa! Wow, that sounds good. It sounds good when it's going for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just sounds spaceship. What are we in Sport Plus? So that is like mega.
So that's what you get.
I think we should find a private road and try.
Yeah, I think I know one along here where we can have a
They have
little
launch
play.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good little stretch actually.
And that unlocks the full 680 horsepower.
680.
Horsepower PS, rather than the 620. Whatever that means.
We need to see how quickly you can get to 30. It's quite important.
Yes. Extended map.
Is there? What's the normal driving kind of power output?
620.
620.
Yeah.
Well,
Still not shabby, is it?
I think that might have tweaked my back.
Imagine that.
I was a little
going
bit
to
twisted.
Chiropractor.
Yeah, I've got an appointment on Friday, thankfully.
Yeah, what happened to you? I went for a drive.
Yeah.
Savage. Very quiet, typical Porsche. You can hear like rolling tyre noise. That's very 911 anyway, isn't it? Not like no wind noise or whatever, but
Yeah, very little wind noise.
yeah.
No,
we established it's all
squeaks.
double glazed and it's pretty solid doors, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you're not gonna get much in here.
But again, like the electrically assisted steering, it's no longer alien to us, is it? It's actually that feels quite nice. Mentioned earlier, I quite like how the front axle feels, just in terms of like directness. It's probably more at the back that's where the car kind of gets its lethargic state from.
Maybe it's those stretched tyres. It needs some fatter tyres.
Possibly, yeah.
They did look a bit stretched, didn't they, on the back there?
did.
Not quite the right size.
So that's actually... I'll tell you what is impressive. That is actually sport chassis that we're in at the moment.
Okay.
Smooth ride for that.
That's that's not jarring at all. In
No.
fact, we're gliding rather elegantly over a series of potholes and divots and Christ knows what else on like a typical British B road. So that is fairly impressive, actually.
Yeah, it's not the smoothest of roads, this one, is it?
Yeah, so it's masking that pretty well. Yeah. So, quick verdict. What are we thinking?
I'm still in that camp of it's just, it's the party trek, isn't it? Yeah, we haven't really gone around the corner too well. Yes.
Well, it was a rough roundabout, wasn't it?
Here we go, look, Mr. Pro making excuses for it already.
Making excuses.
Once you've done the big squirt, then it just becomes a comfortable, kind of, what do you call it, GT car, I suppose. in terms of a Grand Tour, not.
But it's, I don't know. It just, for me, lacks that kind of the soul of that an engine brings, that an internal combustion engine brings. You know, and it's if we have to get used to this, it's just my overriding emotion is sadness.
I think it all depends what you're comparing it against, isn't it? Yeah, if you're in the market for an electric car, then if you're comparing this with a Tesla,
what's your experience of Tesla then?
How would you put it with a Tesla? Tesla, I would say exactly the same. Yes, it's
Did you just go down the gear then?
So it's just regen.
Yeah. Tesla's it's comfortable enough. The finish on Tesla is very plastic and American, as obviously this feels like a Porsche inside. So I think if you're in the market for an electric car, why wouldn't you buy this? If you're trying to replace your 911, I think you're going to be a bit sorry.
Yeah. I think the thing with the Tesla is always going to be that charging ease, isn't it? Yeah, well, they've got that absolutely wrapped as far as...
They've stolen the march, haven't they? Without doubt, but I'm sure others will catch up.
Yeah.
With the Ionity network, which is already got quite a foothold in Europe and is building over in the UK.
Yeah.
That's all of the VAG group are in that. I think Mercedes and BMW are in there as well.
Yeah, so that's gonna pick up very quickly.
Definitely. It's a shame these guys are here, but we need to find this.
There's once we get into the trees, there's a right turn that goes down towards a little place, and that'll be dead quiet.
Awesome.
We can do some launches.
It does feel quite Tesla sat in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
In terms of there's the way it sits in the road, and that sort of the fact that it is heavy and you sat quite low down, and that delivery of power, I think is.
Yeah. So we've established the Taycan is a absolute daily. It's not it's a sports saloon, but it's never replace a sports car, will it?
No.
Ever. But Andy, you're dead sold as a daily option, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. If I had the wedge, I'd be there.
Do you remain on the fence, Joe?
Yeah, I'm just. It just doesn't. I don't get excited about it. I think that's the trouble. I'm sort of. I can appreciate it for what it is, but I'm kind of not like, wow, I really want one.
Yeah. It was quite interesting looking round the car, and like not being able to look at the engine. It was like, feels a bit blank.
Same as a 991 and 992.
It's true. Yeah. It's just that there's nothing no mechanicals to look at.
No.
And I think
have you seen the boot capacity of the front?
No, I didn't know.
Oh my god, like
big or small?
They're tiny.
Oh, is it?
Absolutely tiny. Yeah, you could get like one shopping bag in there.
Yeah,
right.
One bag for life, and that's your lot.
For what's actually a really big car, I thought the boot was a little bit, surprisingly on the small side.
It's what's hiding underneath, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, they've got to fit it all in somewhere, haven't they?
Take a right here, and this is the little road that we can
awesome.
Do some.
Have a squirt.
Yeah. It's very quiet and good sighting.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Perfect. Stop. Are we going to stop and go from?
Yeah, I'll just go down a bit just in case something comes flying. I don't.
There's a house on the right once you start going up the hill.
Okay.
But otherwise, there's no
turn-offs. As luck would have it, I have a C1. Wonder how quickly we'll catch up. So I think it will be as usual. Sport Plus got.
So again, it's launch control, are we?
PSN's switched off. Obviously, we've got to give 2 minutes. If not, we're going to be.
Yeah, otherwise we'll be up his arse.
Reading out the small print on the C1's number plate in 10 seconds. Actually, I should do, shouldn't I? Line.
We're just going to brace.
I think this works. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
So we're braking.
Are we ready?
Left foot down. Launch control. Go.
Oh!
Oh my god! Excrement everywhere!
I wasn't expecting that.
I put my head back, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I did my neck then.
Did it? Did you not? You weren't braced?
I didn't realise you were going straight away.
That is ridiculous.
I nearly ate my microphone then.
Brilliant. That's quality. I can't wait to watch that back in slow mo. Just see us all like gurning like we've been on disco biscuits or something. G4's pulling your face off. So, might put PSM back on actually. Oh, dear.
How did it feel from a driver's point of view?
Yeah, that was definitely an adrenaline rush. It has to be said. Like, there's no other car because there's no engine, which obviously parasitical losses and etc. That is just relentless, isn't
That's
it?
all of it.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you know, the
I don't know. Would you get
benchmark.
tired of that? I'm not sure I would actually.
Well, where would you use it? Where would you use launch control? We're lucky that we've been on a
Yeah,
private road.
yeah.
But I mean, you know, you couldn't do that off of the
Off the roundabout.
Off the roundabout.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you could just pick up your Costa and then
Yeah.
like, cheers, mate, I'm gone, and drive through. You know. So.
I don't know if you want to do a little turnaround somewhere.
Yeah, might as well go back, mightn't we? And
Yeah.
see if it does the same thing the other way.
Yeah,
Just to be doubly
Same
sure.
thing, heading
Two-way
into the
testing.
wind. Exactly that. But it kind of feeds back into what Joe was saying. It's party trick.
Yeah.
But then what? You know.
But in general, day to day, having a whip, like you know, you're in traffic.
It'll give you whiplash.
Yeah. But being in traffic and just being able to bang it away from anything, really, can't you? You just.
Yeah. I think what's scary actually is if you think in 20 years' time, when what can we reasonably expect? 60% of cars will be electrically assisted, or say they'll be e-powered.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like somebody who's kind of say, how do you put it, maturing / dwindling to be in charge of that much kind of power.
True,
and torque.
yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah. I couldn't imagine my dad driving this right now. No.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
They'll just have a button for it, won't they? They'll have an
Old
OAP
person.
button.
Good night, Mr. Tom, mate.
Yeah.
Might get past this
A tractor.
tracker. Did you see that? That just went like purple. I don't
Did
know
it?
if there's like a wires touching or whether that's some sort of bizarre. Did anyone else not see that?
No. I
saw it flash,
The
didn't
whole
see it.
thing, just went like purple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Like it was fucking up?
Yeah.
Oh.
God, what the computer says no.
All right, we're going for take two.
Let's go for that again, shall we? What I will do. What is that turn off there, Andy?
I think
Do you
that.
know?
Yeah, it's just a house or something, isn't it?
Okay. Quick. I hope that comes.
Oh.
What's happened there? How did that happen? Must have.
You got to try not to run it over now.
Yeah, God, if it goes, it goes. Shine. Right, so I'm just going to go down a bit just in case.
Yeah.
Shall I go just after that thing? There's going to be
There's
loads
not
of
much
room.
road left after that, is there?
I reckon we'll cover it if we go
Yeah.
literally on the thing, just in case there's a garden centre and some
Yeah.
90-year-old
Coming out.
rambling out in there.
There's another road a little bit further up with a bit more of a stretch than this one.
Yeah.
Similar sort of
If you
looking
go
road.
literally from the turning,
Yeah.
then we'll be able to see. That works.
Yeah.
Done.
It's not like they're going to hear us, is it?
Things all shut now.
Right, so Sport Plus. Oh yeah, shit. PSN's got to be all the way off. Switch
Head
off.
against the headrest.
Yes, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2,
Two,
1. So launch control activated.
There's just
That is relentless. Holy shit.
Jesus.
Wow. That is relentless.
Wow.
Sorry, the microphone just ejected itself onto the back seat.
Got it again.
Wow. Wow.
Does that still reach for you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Do a right.
Of course, yeah. Got to turn some sort of state of decorum.
Yeah.
So we're back out in the Taycan then, because we turned off the recording earlier by mistake. So it's just me and
Me and Lee.
Yeah, Joe's gone to A&E to remove a microphone from his chops.
Yeah, you showed me a little slow-mo of it's fantastic. He wasn't ready for that, was he?
He was not ready for it at all. He
No.
was clearly looking at the clocks, but we'll put the clip of that on Instagram so people can see.
Brilliant, yeah, let's do that.
What way do you reckon?
So what do you think to it so far then, mate?
You are very pro, aren't you, as we were discussing earlier
Yeah.
on in the video. I think having spent...
I wasn't. I didn't used to be.
Really?
What changed it for you? What
then?
changed it for me? You know, I was like, well, I saw this newfangled shit. And I think I went and test drove that i3.
Yeah.
And it was like, ooh, this is pretty nifty. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But
I can see it as a daily, but yeah, it's not a fun machine. So I would never buy a Taycan myself, I don't think. Maybe a Macan, the electric Macan.
Okay.
As Sarah's car.
Yeah.
That's a definite possibility when that comes out. Probably be all over that.
It's, I don't know, a day into it, I'm kind of struggling with it. I really am. Like, for me, any journey kind of should have a degree of emotion to it. I understand there's practicalities of daily driver and whatnot. And I used to have a smart car, absolute rat box, didn't I? So I completely understand about getting about from A to B efficiently. But I still think it should be fun.
Yeah.
And whilst this is kind of point and squirt fun and whatnot,
It's just not your bag, is it?
Yeah, it's all there is kind of to it, and it just. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, it gets some looks, doesn't it? Have you noticed that?
A little bit. I think the main thing is probably just surprise more than anything, because there's like quite a big car coming towards them, and it's just absolutely silent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think because I've been in an electric car today, I've been kind of more aware of any electric cars around me, and I've genuinely seen one i3 and one Tesla.
Yeah.
Model 3 actually.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount
It's
around.
not a big uptake. No, not in comparison to like other countries like Norway, for example, or something.
Yeah.
Who are way ahead of kind of the rest of Europe there.
Jesus, man, it's like a spaceship. Look at that BM. It's just like,
nuts,
see ya!
But like the way that car on the through the middle of that corner kind of squatted and hunkered down, that to me feels like a Porsche.
Yeah.
You know, like that bit there, particularly like 911 in terms of when you can get on the gas. This is usually a decent roundabout, but I'm too far near that jag. I'll go round, do that.
Yeah, that feels nice, doesn't it?
It's not going there. That could go more as well. I'm just kind of worried as to what's going to
pop out.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, like this.
Look at that for a directional change. That's lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah, that felt better. That felt better than it did earlier.
Yeah, that roundabout was like that would upset any car, wouldn't it? It was all sketchy and bumpy, and lorries had been going around it, so you got like those sort of troughs and shit.
Yeah, the car was just scrapping, wasn't it, for grip straight away.
Yeah, go through the list. What we got?
So we've got black and slate grey two-tone leather-free interior, 336. Electric fold-in exterior mirrors, a couple of £100. Side window trims in black, high gloss. Porsche electric sport sound. Dynamic chassis control, that's 2300. Rear axle steering, including power steering plus, 1600.
Yeah.
Sport chrono package. 20-inch sport aero wheels.
I like these. I like those.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thermally and noise insulated glass, including privacy. Park assist, £1,000. Porsche inner drive, including adaptive cruise control, £2,000. No, you don't need that. Night vision assist, 1600. Ambient lighting. Side airbags in rear compartments, an optional extra. Should it be?
Isn't it? How many optional extras there are?
Heated steering wheel. Slate grey seat belts. Advanced climate control. Powered charging port cover. 150 kilowatt DC onboard booster. Mobile charger connect. And public charging cable type 2. Yeah. All in 131,600.
Oh, wow.
What's your initial impression then?
lovely to drive. It's not thrilling me. It's in awe of it. It does what you want it to do.
You almost sound a bit less convinced than you were earlier now.
It's just a crazy amount of money in there. I just can't even comprehend that. This car is good.
Yeah. It's nice, like zipping through these kind of roads and that, and we're almost gliding round them, aren't we? You know, around those corners. It's not so much the car I'm not sold on; it's the concept.
Yeah.
You know, that's the issue. The car's fantastic, and actually, press release I got about an hour before I come over to yours was this, the Taycan 4S had won Car of the Year or something with Autocar. So I think there's Autocar. Who else has just done awards? What Car or whatever. So I mean, it's scooping up gongs right, left, and centre really.
It just takes this road in its stride, doesn't it?
Great brakes.
It does brake well, doesn't it? Just feels good.
I'd probably want ceramics on it though. I'm not entirely satisfied with the feel through the pedal.
Okay.
I think with something that's this heavy, I'd probably like just something that's got that instantaneous, very definitive stop.
How much range have we got left?
15 miles.
Oh, that's alright then. As long as the ferry's open.
Oh my god, if the ferry's not open, then it is absolutely game, set and match, and it will be knocking on someone's door.
So what do we think to that then?
Well, that was Taycan, but are we Taycan by the car? It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible.
Can we just cut that out, please? I can't deal with that.
You've been saying Taycan?
I genuinely had to ask somebody at Porsche how to pronounce it.
So what's the official line?
Taycan.
Taycan. Even though it's spelled Taycan.
Yes, and I don't know about you guys, I've still not found that bloody turbo.
Can we just touch on that for a second? Like, has anybody had an explanation from anybody official to say why they put a turbo badge on an electric car?
The line is that turbo in the modern world going forward, if you discredit the 911 turbo, it's an expression of performance. So it's not relating to a specific part or spec, whatever. It's an expression of performance.
Even though every other Porsche with a turbo badge has had a turbo in it.
Yeah, I can't answer that part, to be honest with you. Yeah,
should we just pass on that?
I think even a conscientious PR person might give that one the swerve. To be honest with you, it's difficult.
We all agree it's shit, but let's carry on.
Yeah.
We'll
So I think actually listening back to that footage, we kind of started by kind of discrediting a lot of things.
Yeah.
A little bit anti, maybe, as a group?
Possibly.
Yeah.
The vegan interior, I remember, came in for quite a lot of stick, just in terms of like overall finish, which, I mean, I still kind of stand by that. It wasn't...
Yeah, it didn't wow me. Like, the interior was bland. I don't know if it was that particular spec of that car, because it was quite grey and...
Yeah.
I quite like Sportex, but it was just a bit grey.
I like Sportex, but I felt like the finish and fit and feel didn't feel as good as a new 911. Yeah, it's a new 992.
Agreed on that.
Surprising.
I have to say.
Yeah, I thought they'd be right up there with that.
Yeah.
That's the panel by your hip, on the B pillar. That just looked so like scratched up already.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I've seen that sort of said before.
Yeah.
There's a few little lumps here and there missing already as well. I don't know if it's been fitted like that. There's little bits and pieces that weren't great.
Yeah.
Even stupid things, like you said. Yeah, you sit there looking at that stitch line on the dash like all day, and it was pretty wonky.
Yeah.
Which, for a big 6-figure car, you don't really expect that sort of thing, do you? Especially in a Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had to call in Porsche Bournemouth at one stage with the car to try and steal some juice. And I think
quite a day of that.
I'll relay that actually. I think it'd be good for context. But I think there were 5 other Taycans in the car park, so I had a good look around. All specs varying wildly, actually, which was really good to see, like varieties, the spice of life and whatnot. And the other interiors that had leather, and it wasn't the vegan interior, it was just like a nicer finish and in different colours. Yeah, so it's like you said, Andy, it's amazing what kind of a colour change more than anything can do to just lift it.
That car we had, great on the outside. Was it seal grey? Or a dark grey?
What grey was it? I think it was slate grey.
Slate grey. Great looking colour, sort of subdued, but always good as far as I think. It makes a
Yeah.
good colour in the UK. And then the wheels were kind of almost a bit Bentley-esque.
Yeah.
A bit, I think you said they were turbofan or a bit like gas burners.
Yeah, they
had
reminded
a
me of
really,
turbofans.
Really good look to them. And from the outside, the car looked good, but the inside was just bland. If you'd put a red interior in that,
Would have lifted
it would have
it.
been a
Yeah.
totally different car. Absolutely different car.
Well, I had a quick chat with Damon Jones, obviously from
Yeah.
Series 1, who
Yeah,
he
'cause-
actually incidentally had a Taycan last week as
almost
well.
the same hour, I think. He was doing it.
Yeah,
I chatted to him as
really, really kind of uncanny. And we got talking about those wheels. And again, it's a 2.3 ton car, isn't it, overall?
Yeah.
And those kind of bits in between the spokes, it's just kind of was like heavy alloy, and I couldn't work out why that was kind of plastic and whatnot. And Damon said here he saw a car in the compound with the carbon wheel option. That's a $5,000 option, by the way, the carbon wheels.
It's enough, isn't
But with no carbon blades, which is quite interesting. He learned they are fitted at the dealer to each individual spoke. Kind of cool idea, because that means if you scrape one, you just buy a new spoke rather than have the whole wheel removed for a pair.
Yeah.
Now, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
But that's only on the carbon. That alloy, to my mind, well, obviously it was one piece, wasn't it? And that's heavy, and it's unsprung.
Yeah.
And I just think, what's
Where's the
It's all for
advantage in
look,
there?
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an
yeah.
add-on bit. It's not structural.
Yeah, and it kind of in something like that, it kind of quite surprised me for a Porsche, actually.
It should be an easy place if you can lose that rolling weight. I mean, surely that can only help things. So
Yeah,
it's an odd thing to lay
yeah,
up.
but and that's and that's kind of where we were going with the conversation with Damon. There is like the carbon wheel is I mean, it's great in terms of like not only looks but weight saving as well. But yeah, $5,000 that's expensive.
Oh,
So
well,
not
we were
everybody's
going-
going to go for it.
We
you know?
were going through the options list on that car. Was it 138? I think the.
I think
price
it was. It might have been 130, but it was 115 list price. So 15 grand of options.
You could question though, if you're into 130 anything. Yeah, what's another $5,000 at that level?
Yeah, especially when it will just kind of come into a monthly. It won't. It's not a
Exactly.
a
Yeah,
lump,
and I mean, again, everything electric's all being written down against company car stuff because it's still favourable. So if you go nuts and spec it with everything, the $5,000 wheel option might not actually look that bad.
Yeah. So we've all driven the car. What are your thoughts, guys? As it retrospectively here as well, obviously because we've just had the audio clip on board. But,
I'll jump in. I think, I think for what it is, I think it's very good. I think if you're gonna, if someone said, right, you've got to go and buy an electric car tomorrow, hands down, that'd be the one I'll go and buy.
Yeah.
I still think it's got its party trick. That's great. I think yes, it does tick other boxes, but it's just not a 911 replacement by any shot for me. I think it's still too much of a compromise on too many levels, and it's still a big, heavy car, isn't it?
I felt when we went out later that evening, went over to sort of the Purbex and drove back from Corfe Castle to the ferry, to Sandbanks Ferry. And that road's a great little bit of road, lots of lovely curves on it. And I really gelled with the car. It was a proper moment. It was almost like when I got my 993. When I first drove it, my first few drives were just like on the motorway, general sort of going around town, that sort of stuff. It didn't really gel with the car. But then I did a coast road, which is the road that we've done loads since, sort of that Abbotsbury to West Bay road. And that's when I really gelled with my car. And it felt the same when I was driving the Taycan down that bit of road. It was like, okay, this goes where you want it to go. It handles amazingly. It just feels right. And it kind of shrunk around me.
You were loving it,
felt
weren't you,
good.
in fairness? Yeah.
I mean, we're popping along that road really quite nicely. weren't we?
So would one of those scratch the itch for the Sunday drive, do you think?
I still wouldn't go that far, no. It would be, if I was a rich man, it would be my daily.
So if it doesn't do that bit, does it not then just go back into being a commuter?
Yeah, it does for me.
And that becomes it's a lot of money for a commuter, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's people that can afford that.
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, it's not a sports car, and Porsche, in fairness, have said that it's a sports saloon, But what I really liked about the car was there were things that did feel like Porsche. So I said earlier on that, the quality of the dash, that wasn't what we're used to from a Porsche product. But the seating position was excellent, really reminded me of kind of 991/992. Yeah. That felt like Porsche. The steering felt like Porsche in terms of weight. Front axle, loved that, to be honest. That again felt like a Porsche. So the whole idea of Porsche in the future producing like an electric 911, all of a sudden I've kind of warmed to a little bit, because there are certain elements.
Quite as much.
Yeah, exactly. There are elements that you go, okay, well, it might not have a beating flat six as its heart, but
they injected a lot of Porsche DNA into the Taycan.
Yeah,
I'd definitely give it that.
Yeah,
I wonder if as mad as it sounds, I wonder if a fairer comparison would, if we drove the Taycan back to back with the equivalent Tesla, for example, I think that's where it come into its own. Yeah, I think the trouble is what we've got to ask ourselves, what are we comparing it against?
Yeah,
I think we're all sat here trying to compare it against
something
classic, not say classic Porsche, but the 911 Porsche, which it's not. And I think that's the problem. Is everyone's going, is it a 911? No. Well, what is it?
Yeah.
So I think that would be potentially a fairer test.
The problem for me, because that is fantastic product, that, and similar to Andy, I gelled with that car about half an hour before I had to give it back. So I had it for a couple of days, and the whole time I wasn't too sure on it at all, mainly due to the infrastructure thing, which I don't mind kind of divulging on. But genuinely, I got to about Newbury, returning the car to Porsche Reading, some back roads around Newbury and like High Clear Way, and similar to your kind of experience, Andy, and the Purbex. Sewing some of those corners together in that car, I'd kind of started to really fall for that car. But I would realistically say at least 5 years away personally from even considering an electric car for any mode of transport, for anything, and again, like the infrastructure thing.
Do you think that's down to what you need to do with a car, because you're doing quite long?
Maybe, but I mean, yes, like a home charger would help. It would certainly have helped my thing. So obviously, you guys the day before had the pleasure of rinsing the battery. I put it on
until we got. we were coming along to the Sandbanks ferry. And I think we had 10 miles left?
Yeah.
And we were getting a little bit...
Was there a bit of anxiety at that point?
Yeah. Oh my God, anxiety. Backside go like a rabbit's nose.
The ferry's been...
It's a great visual thought for listeners.
It was scary. Yeah. But that's the thing, like we were saying.
It's been getting iffy, isn't it, lately?
Yeah. And it was one of the last ones. And then also, like we said, if you run out of fuel, your mate comes out of a jerry can. You can't do a kind of splash
I would have
and dash
absolutely
job.
pissed myself. I got a call from one of you two going, we've missed the last ferry. And
we got an extension lead. Yeah. but this is it. I plugged it in at my house overnight, only on a 3-pin. But
Did that do anything?
Yeah, I was on for 12 hours. It got like 85 miles range. And to be fair, the guys at Porsche said, because I said I've not got a charger, and they said just do it. It'll give you a little something. So obviously that plus the 6 miles I was left with by the time I dropped Andy off. Yeah. It was tickling 90 miles. Took my wife Laura out, kind of at Purbex way again, bit of lunch, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of back down. I then went to a local charge point at a Waitrose. Yeah. Already not exactly delighted to be kind of having to sit in Waitrose for a car park. Concrete car. Yeah, exactly. Concrete underground car park for 45 minutes to an hour. Downloaded the app you needed, set it all up, blah, blah, blah. Prepaid on my debit card on the account. Then it said, right, follow instructions on the station. Went there. Oh, you need a membership card. Yeah. Got chatting to a guy there who, he said, it's $7.99 a month for a membership card, so I couldn't use that. Then looking around, and this is the thing I've discovered, so many companies are trying to, excuse the pun, but take a charge on this kind of infrastructure network. But it kind of...
There isn't a market leader yet.
And there just needs to be one system. With petrol, it doesn't matter if you go to Shell, Gulf, BP, whatever. You know that the nozzle's going to fit in your car and you're going to get your fuel. But with these guys, they've all got different apps you need to download. They've all got different systems, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and it's just too complicated. It needs to be a one-size-fits-all. And so I've had to find...
bit like you could only use Vauxhall cars in an S.
Exactly that. And it's not practical, you know.
I think that'll go over time. It has to. Because either somebody will just win the race and there'll be one.
Yeah.
You've got the VHS Betamax.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or they'll just call an alliance and they'll go, right, actually, we need this to work.
Yeah.
So,
Stop being stupid, guys.
I need to, just more for cathartic experience more than anything, just I'll like relay that story after there. No, just because, like, again, this is a genuine problem, you know.
Yeah.
So I then realised I found Ecotricity you don't need a membership card for. Nearest one from Paul is Rownham's on the M27, which is a jog away. I didn't have enough range to get there. So what do? I can't then the car had to be back at 4. Can't just go back home on the 3-pin overnight. Yeah. I had a brainwave and said, right, Porsche Bournemouth, obviously they sell electric cars, they can charge them as well.
They've got a super fast charger there yet?
They've got a charger, it's not super fast. Plugged it in, got 0.1 mile a minute. So
0.1 a minute?
Yeah, I was sitting in the car. You can't go inside because of COVID. I'm sitting in the car. You can't have the aircon on because it's draining. So I'm sitting there like sweating like you wouldn't believe. Any case, then I literally tickled enough to get to Rownham's because I thought I'm literally waiting for death here at the moment. Got to Rownham's, that was meant to be a fast charger. The map lied, essentially it wasn't. I got 0.4 of a mile a minute. There were only 2 stations, one was out of order. A woman turned up, she wanted to use the same cable as me. And she was saying, I'll go and get a coffee, but if you leave, when you're done, do you mind just hanging around and not leave? Because I don't want someone to nick the place. So she's waiting for me to charge my car. I'm sitting there for 45 minutes to an hour. And again, Rownham's, who wants to be stuck at Rownham services, you know?
It's not great, is it?
A lot of people... get a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's nice to have a coffee."
No, it's not. Yeah, how many cups? It's nice to plug your car in if you do your shopping. Well, it is if you do your shopping. You know,
I think
every 3 days.
It's come back to infrastructure, isn't it? I mean, just an example. Only trying to play devil's advocate. Yeah, and like I said, a few years ago, I had a touch experience with Tesla stuff. And if you go a bit further up to fleet services, if you pull in there now, you probably see there's a line of 20 odd, Tesla fast chargers, superchargers. Sorry. So genuinely, there you could rock up, plug it in for 20 minutes, and also I think 40 minutes would give you best part of 300 miles, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that is a coffee, isn't it?
And that all of a sudden becomes a proposition worth considering, doesn't it?
And actually, if you went right, I need what's fleet 100 miles less, isn't it? Fleet,
I think
whatever
80.
it is. But what I'm saying, so you could even if you did your overnight 80 something miles, it would have got you there. You could have had a coffee for 20 minutes. That would have got you back to Reading, no sweat.
Yeah.
But you found, isn't it? It's so disjointed, and nobody's kind of doing it properly. It makes the whole thing.
And that is a difficulty, you know. I eventually found a fast charger, 150 kilowatt, at a Shell in Eastleigh. So I went there from Rownham's. I'm way past the 4 o'clock deadline to hand the car back. And I plugged it in, and fair enough, like that was job's good. And in 20 minutes I'd got well over the 80% battery that I kind of was looking for. But again, I'm just kind of sitting around the back of a Shell garage, like, you know, staring across at some bloke washing his car and checking his tyres, and it's not a good place to be.
It's not a nice experience at the moment, is it?
So again, as a product, absolutely fantastic. What lets it, and this isn't unique to Porsche, because and actually Porsche, or the VAG group, BMW and Mercedes have all joined forces, haven't they, for this Ionity network?
Okay.
They're working on it.
And that is the supercharger network, and that is kind of, again, infrastructure-wise to rival Tesla. There's 8 stations currently in the UK. There were 0 before lockdown, which is good they're putting them in, even though, you know, the world's had a wobbly. But again, just in terms of being able to have the whole point of driving is the freedom to go anywhere. And at the moment, that, to me, is what lacks with driving an electric car, unless it's planned. Like when we go out on a Sunday and we just meet up, put a destination in, get the Calimoto app out, we don't know our mileage until we press go on that Calimoto app, and it
it'd be
gives
pretty
us the
sad
route.
if we had to compare our available mileage and then find a route to match.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
wouldn't quite be the same experience, would it?
Yeah, and also what happens, you know, God forbid, you know, I mean, my family are over the other side of the country. You get a call in the middle of the night, someone's seriously ill, you've got to get here now. Or, you know, oh, hang on, I've just got to charge my car.
I've got to grab a coffee on the way, sorry.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, amazing product, absolutely amazing product, and genuinely makes me quite, maybe not excited, but...
less apprehensive for the future?
Yeah, exactly, less apprehensive. Thank you, Joe. For like a future
Have we been doing this too long? Did I just finish your sentence?
But yeah, the inevitability of an electric 911 in the future. Yeah, that's not as apprehensive, but just no way personally would I consider an electric car of any description for at least 5 years.
Well, I'd say you say that. I mean, it was probably 4 years ago that, like I said, I had a play with some Teslas. Long story, and back then, we were all kind of saying, oh, well, actually, the infrastructure's still not quite there, but give it a year or two and it'll be sorted. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a long way from that.
Definitely.
And all these manufacturers are pumping the cars out, and that's Tesla, which have been doing it the longest. And there's even they're still not there in infrastructure. Try and find a Tesla supercharger locally to us here. The nearest one's 100 miles away.
Yeah.
So they're not quite getting it right yet, I don't think.
Yeah. But
chicken and egg, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think the positive spin is, if obviously you've got a home charger, which you would have in getting that car, but also as the days and weeks roll by, the infrastructure is being put in, particularly with regards to Ionity, which is the kind of the Porsche thing. So,
just to digress slightly, have either of you seen the little Honda electric car they brought out? Opinions on that? I mean, it's like a little Civic.
I think that looks awesome.
I think it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a little Mark 1 Civic. I don't know if you remember. I must have mentioned it, the hand-painted blue one. And it's that same style, and I just love it.
We drove a Mark 1 Civic, didn't we?
We did, yeah. That was hilarious. On its door handles as well, wasn't it? I might add.
Yeah, it was a. I can't remember why, but it was like a real mint condition, well kept car, and somebody crazily lent it to us for 10 minutes. And,
Honda UK press car, wasn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Bright orange as well.
Yeah. Have you seen the one outside the new one outside the Honda garage near us?
I have.
Doesn't that look like a post-apocalyptic Mr. Bean car, in like the colour of it and whatnot?
I think they're cool. I mean, it's
the little car that I need for getting around town.
It's the first electric city car that I've gone, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they've made it. It's hit the funk thing rather than the let's be modern kind of electric car. The Leaf always looked a bit.
Well, it's a girl's name, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not just let's do the right thing. Well, let's try and have fun while we do the right thing. Then, shall we?
It's got shit range. It's only, I think it probably 120, whatever the miles per gallon thing is. It's not only do 120.
Yeah, but if you're doing 5 miles to work each way, it's going to last a couple of weeks still, isn't it? So
I'm down with it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So overall, then we what are we saying on the
I think my
Taycan?
opinion sort of stayed the same. Is that I want something like that in the future for day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
Taycan's
how in the
for me.
future? Put a date on it.
Really, when my current car blows up.
Really? Yeah.
So if it blow up tomorrow, I'd go and replace it with an electric car.
Yeah.
So it shows, isn't it? It's a utility necessity type vehicle and purchase.
Yeah. Domestic appliance to me.
Yeah. It's another toaster.
Yeah. So would I ever get a Taycan? Probably not.
Is that price tag driven? I mean, is that?
Yeah, that's price tag driven.
So if Porsche said, right, we're going to do a 30 grand, scaled down Taycan tomorrow.
A Macan. Yeah. If they're going to do the new Macan, and my wife's got an XC40 at the moment.
Yeah.
She'll be looking to replace that in a year or so's time. If the Macan's out and it's the right thing.
Yeah, it's a great shout.
That'd be on the cards. Yeah.
But there is that little bit, sometimes she has to go up to London. Will the infrastructure be there? So it will be a consideration.
So even a year or so from now, it still might not be in the running because of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Lee?
Up for it in the future for a daily, but like I say, not in the next 5 years. And also, whilst, and I did say this earlier, that it could be I don't really know how to put it, passable as an electric 911. The concept isn't now completely alien, but I think these cars that we currently own with engines in the future will be like owning a horse, and we just will get it out for weekend drives, and we will have this electric car in the weeks. Yes, in the future, definitely, but not anytime soon.
Do you think the Taycan currently in its current form, with a 6-figure plus price tag, presents good value to anybody?
I don't think so. I think it's
when and take into consideration, to add to that, I think we touched on it before. Yeah, at that sort of price level, you can buy yourself a very nice hybrid Panamera. You've got a choice of everything, haven't you?
Yeah.
Porsche wise, in terms of alternatives to the 911 that would get over the range thing. Does it provide any value at that level?
That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest with you. Like, because you've got the payoff of initial price versus like running costs and stuff. You know, I mean, there's no engine in there to service. You know, it's
but electric's not free. I think that's the thing.
Well, no, but I think to get 80% of that Taycan was in terms of range was 20 quid. Whereas if you wanted 80% of range in fuel, it's going to cost you 60.
Yeah.
That's an interesting, actually, another sum to go on the spreadsheet, I suppose, isn't it? So actually, if you start, if you offset what you would spend in fuel, over lifetime of keeping that car,
or even 2-3 years, if you.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So someone's going, if you can have it, say you assume 2 or 3 year ownership, especially when you put that into the numbers, it might. I don't know, does it? 130 grand? Maybe. You can buy a lot of petrol for that, can't you?
So I like about Joe is maths and calculator. Straight on it. This is good.
Spreadsheet going.
Yeah. If you'd like Joe to do the finance calculation on your car, just drop him a DM. So quality chats. Well, look, it was a genuine pleasure. In fairness, to have a look at the Taycan, and we thanks to Porsche for that, for letting us do that. And
I think the consensus, I think, if the ticket price isn't a consideration and you want to go and buy a decent electric car tomorrow, I mean, that's the only one.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
To be fair to it.
Yeah, there's not anything else out there, is it?
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, I can't think of something that is better than that on the market currently.
Yeah, agreed.
Not that we've driven loads of electric cars, but,
from what you can...
From the experience we've had, I think, you can get a big dose of Porsche in your electric car.
Yeah.
Then I think that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, we'll wrap it up. I don't know about you. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get home, I'm going to fire up my flat 6. I'm going to have absolutely no regrets about doing it. And I know I'm going to get there as well.
No anxiety range for you.
Cheers, gents.
Good night.